Lindsay Moore. My assistant's here today. I'd like to welcome everyone, the crowd, to this auction here today. My assistant's here today are Christy, there's Tommy, there's Cornelia, there's Kyle, there's Lola, there's Raph, Sinead, and Jane Alicia. So welcome here today. So thanks for coming, because I'm looking forward to a big 2026. And there's only one thing I don't really like about real estate. It's the only time I meet so many nice people, all the way through, buyers and sellers. However, sometimes you can't keep in contact with everybody all of the time. And so I apologise for that. So this is my little bit of a thank you in a small way, in order to reconnect with people that I've had a really good, fun relationship in a business way for many, many, many years. So thanks for those that have turned up, etc. And I've got my own little stories. Because I'm the only person, when I sell a house, I'm the only person that speaks to the vendor, or the vendor's ex, or the buyer, currently now the buyer's ex or whatever, or the solicitor either side, the builder and pest person. No one else can speak to all the people. I'm the only person that speaks to all the people, so I know all the stories. So I've got some great stories, and obviously they're very, very private stories. However, that doesn't always stay that way. Anyway, but I'm the only one that can do that. So it's a great story. I won't say all of them at the moment, but I've mentioned to a few people here today in regard to that referral and repeat business is the greatest thing that any business person can have in the world. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, if someone uses you again and again and again, they must have thought you're okay in the first place. If they thought you're okay, if they refer you to someone else, that's even gold as well. There's people here that I've sold 11, oh no, he couldn't make it because he's a big crook, of 11 properties for him over the years. And it's a shame he couldn't make it here today. But other people have referred me business. I won't actually mention names because there is so many that have done it once, twice, 5, 10, 15 times, and I appreciate that. If I say those people's names, it's probably not fair on other people that refer me business all the time. So they refer me, it doesn't mean I get the business, but it gives me a chance to get the business. That's all I can ask for, to be on someone else's shopping list. So thanks for spreading the love. Now, I won't say that. Anyway, I can't say that. But anyway, the quickest, Lola's here too. Sorry, Lola. Just a little couple of random mates. My quickest sale was for one day. In Rhode Island, and the other one was 2 days, twice in Manly Drive and also 83 Monaco Street. The longest sale I've ever had in the Gold Coast. I did real estate in Melbourne for probably 13 years before I came in. Long sale is 803 days. But that was 7 properties in a line, and I think is Greg here? Greg Brown? Oh, he was going to be here, so because the other couple of people couldn't make it, etc. But it was probably the greatest sale that all those people would probably worship me forever, like me. I worship myself as well too. But anyway, that was 803 days. I tell you what, there's a lot of stress involved in that. That's why I've received it significantly. And I'll tell you, this is going back. This is so random. But anyway, we can do random shit sometimes, can't we? And he will remember this. A few years, I don't know how many years ago, I had the best wood chopper award. Because you know why? He's the only wood chopper in existence. That's Andy Lovell. Where's Andy? He's done a runner now. How many years ago was that? That was when I was living in Marbella in Benoa. That must have been about 10, 12 years ago, a long time ago. He's not wood chopping anymore, but I checked through past notes and I said, he's coming today, I'll say it anyway. Most stressful sale, it's probably all of them. We put out so many spot fires and bushfires, etc. And the most unusual referral business I've ever had, probably about 8 years ago, I crashed my car in Rudd Street in Broad Beach Water. I was going to pick up Lola to go out for dinner, and I had to ring Lola. I wrote my car off, I wrote the other car off, and I had to ring Lola and said, look, I'm running a little bit late. So therefore what happened is the tow truck drivers arrived, etc., as they do, about 5 of them. Anyway, so there was a little old lady that I ran into, no one was injured. And so what happened then is I jumped into the tow truck driver, the car on the back, I go and pick up Lola from her place to go out for dinner in a tow truck. And she said, what are you doing, Dad? And I said, oh, it's just a bit of a nasty accident. So we went out for dinner, so she had a really good story to tell all her mates at school the next day. But that was it. 4 years later, I get a phone call from this random lady, and she said, Campbell, you don't know me. My name is Margaret Gorry. And I said, fine. And I said, okay. She said, look, you crashed into my best friend's mum's car 4 years ago. And I thought, here we go. And she said, no. She said, Campbell, she spoke so highly of you being such a nice guy, protecting her from the tow truck driver who was being a vulture. And I said at that time, a few years ago, I want that man to sell my house. So I sold her house, and then I sold her daughter a house in Monaco Street. Then I sold, this is going over about a 5-year period, then I sold her other house in Manoa Waters. And then only about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I sold her son's place in Magnolia Drive in Southport. And his first name was Campbell. What a lovely guy. But I can tell you what, it's not the prospecting that I normally do, but it makes you think when you get 5 sales and a long-term forever client by doing that. But that's what I've done as well anyway. Now, over the last few years, the most popular name, now this might surprise most of you, the most popular name that I've met, and I've sold a lot of property that are very memorable, is this Rob Campbell, Helen Campbell, Howard Campbell, Elaine Campbell, Rob Campbell, and the last one was Campbell Gorry, which was the last one I sold. So Campbells are coming, hurrah, hurrah. Anyway, I thought I'd share that. And a couple of other stories here. This is as good a story you wish to have. This is going back 25 or 30 years. She's here today. This lady, I sold her property in Talbot Crescent in Kooyong about 25 or 30 years ago. She moved up here probably about 20 years ago, and has always still kept my brochure on the property that she sold in Talbot Crescent in Kooyong in Melbourne. Anyway, so what's happened over the fair, we used to run into each other and have a coffee every now and again at Coffee Sisters, not Urban, sorry about that, at Coffee Sisters, regularly, etc. So now what's happened, she just texted me probably about 2 months ago, where is Liz? She's done a runner, she's hiding, is she? Oh, there she is over there. Yeah, no, I'll never forget that, Liz. And she showed me her brochure to her place, etc. recently. And then all of a sudden, probably about 2 months ago, I was at a property at Helena's place, at her place, a sub-penthouse in Main Beach. And Liz sends me a text and said, look, I want to buy a property. She'd been looking for a big size apartment, sub-penthouse or something for 15 years. And all of a sudden, she texted me and said, I'm ready to buy, the neighbour next door just bought my property. And I said, well, come on, Liz, I'm at a sub-penthouse now in Southport, why don't you come and have a look at it? So she ended up buying that property, paid $3.8 million. Alina is over here. But the story of me selling your property, that relationship we've had, Liz, is good. And her only problem is her current boyfriend, I said current in a joking way, is Barry, in regard to letting the dogs out, but that's a different story again. But anyway, thanks, Liz, that's a really, really good story. And I won't say the rest of the story, but there's so many different stories. I won't even say that joke as well, so because now I'm going to hand over to Anita, who wants to butt in and say a few words, as you do.
Sorry. I've had 4 property transactions with Campbell now, 1 as a buyer and 3 as a vendor. So he's asked me to give him a bit of a rap today. And someone's trying to bring me. So the first thing was as a buyer. So I went and had a look at a house in Carrara, a beautiful home, made an offer on it, and it wasn't quite where those vendors wanted that offer to be. And Campbell said, well, look, could you just come up 20 grand? Because I think if you did that, you would probably get the property. And I said, look, just give me 24 hours to think about it. He said, well, what are you doing tonight? And I said, no, I'm not talking to you about it tonight. I'm going on a date tonight. Going on a date tonight. He said, where are you going? I said, Burleigh Pavilion. So I'm at Burleigh Pavilion. He is, that's exactly what he is. I'm at Burleigh Pavilion on a date, 2 champagnes in with this really lovely bloke. And Campbell rocks up. So he's got a contract.
On the third wheel.
He was the third wheel. He ended up joining us for drinks. He bought the contract along, talked me into paying the $20,000 more, and we had
It
a
was
strong
pretty easy.
contract.
Have a shed egg fine.
That's really what it was like. Anyway, then I had 3 difficult sales. So the first one was that same property. I was selling that when COVID was happening. The banks weren't lending money. It was a really tricky time to go to market. We went to auction. We did not sell at auction, but we ended up with 2 buyers after auction, and one of them was at full price. Same day. Campbell put a lot of effort into working with those buyers. Then another property of mine on the Sunshine Coast, I had an investment property. Campbell was absolutely dreading trying to sell this property for me because I'd had the tenant from hell. There was all this damage to the property. It needed a lot of work. And Campbell said, Anita, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell this for you. And I said,
No, it's
Campbell,
a total shit.
it really needed a lot of work done. But the thing was, Campbell took it to market. I could have used an agent on the Sunshine Coast, but I decided to use Campbell because I knew we were going to need some really good experience with the sale. And we ended up selling it to a beautiful young first-home buyer who was capable of doing the work that was needed himself, and he was really excited about the purchase. So it ended up being a great story all round.
And I didn't even have to show the people through because the tenant showed them through and bought it.
That tenant from hell.
That's it.
She was actually really nice, but she just didn't look after the property at all. And then my third property, which was only in November, just gone. So once again, very, very tricky sale. And it was on South Port Nerang Road. So beautiful, beautiful home, but very busy road. So very tough sale. We took it to auction. Now, Campbell is very clever on the social media, so you might think, well, you know, I'll go with one of these young gun agents that are really great on the socials and really clever. But Campbell is actually really good on his socials. He stays very modern with his marketing methods. And he took my property to market. He got all of our Gold Coast referral group friends, a lot of them are here today, to share that post that he created in the socials and the video. I think the thing with a sale at the moment, if you're looking to you need to get as many buyers as possible, so you need to cast the net as wide as you possibly can, and then you need an agent that's really experienced with dealing with those multiple buyers to get that price up as high as you possibly can. And any agent can sell a property in the market that we're in at the moment. The properties really are quite easy to sell, but to get the buyers to the point where the vendor wants them to be is where you're going to get an experienced agent to really make that difference. So if any of you are looking at selling, you can definitely put your property in Campbell's hands. He's a very, very good agent. And if you know anyone selling, please don't hesitate to reach out to Campbell.
That's fine.
And thank you for the great event today, Campbell. You've done well. Thank you.